up, guys? It's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Today we're going to be doing the match analysis from the match yesterday between Real Sociedad and Barcelona, where Barcelona did pick up their third defeat of the season just before the international break as well, kind of killing a little bit of the momentum they did have. We're going to discuss the team's performance, some individual performances, and some of the main problems that caused Barcelona to suffer a defeat in this game, alongside the huge controversy around VAR as well. Before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get the 200 likes on this video. It would be very much appreciated. Also, if you are new, make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Now, the first thing that we learned from this game is that when Barcelona do struggle creativity and fluidity rise in the final third, they tend to struggle a lot, resulting in drop points basically every single time, and they also struggle to find different avenue to overcome that problem as well. Now, as you can see here on the screen, you have the lineup for this game and also the SofaScore rating. Team average 6.89, pretty poor. A few players in the green, mainly Cubarsi and Raphinha being the best. Kounde in the orange probably rightfully deserved, and the rest, it was a very much an average performance that led to a defeat in this game. Now, some of the stats from this match. Firstly, Barcelona did have 70% of the possession with an XG of 0.84, not even one. 11 shots in total, 0 on target, 5 goalkeeper saves, 6 corner kicks, 6 fouls, 611 passes attempts in total, 12 tackles, 15 free kicks, and 1 yellow card, which I believe was for Inigo. You can see then in the middle, the shot map. Now, you can see there were quite a few shots, some in the box, some in the outside the box, quite spread out, but nothing on target. And you can see how poor Barcelona's shots numbers are, and you can see the green being Real Sociedad, how they've got the better numbers in Barcelona in pretty much the whole entire shot category. Right hand side is the heat concentration for this game, where the majority of the ball was spent. You can see there mainly in the defensive and middle third of Barcelona's defensive area, which again, very poor. Sociedad created 1 big chance in this game, Barcelona 0. We of course missed 0 because we created 0. Touches in the penalty area 22, and 1 foul in the final third as well. And I can also see here with the heat concentration for the game, 42% of it spending in the middle of the park, with 28% in Barcelona's defensive third and 30% in the Sociedad third. So despite Barcelona being, having more attacking by 2%, it's very, very even, and it shows how, Barcelona did not take their chances and how this game was very, very open. Of the 611 passes we did attend, 519 were successful. We had 27 throw-ins, 59 final third entries as well. Now, the duels are quite low for Barcelona as well. As you can see, it's not that encouraging as well, and we saw how Barcelona lacked that a lot, and that came down to Barcelona not doing well in the build-up play. And Hansi Flick did talk about this after the game as well. He came out saying that today was not our day. We made poor decisions in the final third of the field. Completely spot on there. We are responsible for the defeat. We could have played much better. We didn't have a good ball possession. Again, so true. We gave away possession so many times in that game. We couldn't even string a couple passes around until, I would say, the last 10 minutes when they were giving us the ball in build-up play in the defense. You can see Cubarsi, Inigo, when Casado was at right back, Balde, midfield, they were all be able to flow the ball and switch play very quickly because Sociedad were not pressing them. They were all just sitting back, waiting for Barcelona to make a move. Flick says we are responsible for the defeat. Again, we only played well for the first 20 minutes. That's when, of course, we got that goal that was, ruled out. We started the game well, but then they put us under pressure. With long passes, we gave them a clear chance of scoring. I wouldn't say the long balls were that threatening. I think, of course, they did score off not a long ball, but, a mistake. They were sniffing at the long balls, but I didn't feel too threatened by that. I just think that Barcelona didn't defend the narrow pockets very well in this game. Like, also conclude off by saying that today I wanted us to finish the match together, not each of us on our own. Basically saying, you know what, it happens, you slip up, you move on, we learn from it, we take the criticism from that will come from this game. I respect that he's so blunt, I respect that he's so front forward, and also understanding of why the defeat happened. That's going to be very, very important. But it's quite clear that when Barcelona are under pressure, especially you can see that first early goal, they either rely on individual brilliance or mistake. It takes a lot from Barcelona to create from their own space. Of course, going 1-1 or 2-2 when you have the lead is a bit different, especially away from home as well. But Barcelona need to sort that out. Find different avenues, different channels. I think a little bit has to be on this for Flick as well. Make more proactive subs earlier, give the players time to get into the game, get used to it, adapt as well. Chucking them in with, 7 minutes to go, 15 minutes to go when you're desperate for a goal doesn't really bode well for either side. Now, the second thing that we learned from this game is that there is a serious wide threat issue with Barcelona, where pretty much the only reliable and consistent outlet is Lamine Yamal, and I will explain that here with the graphic that you see on the screen. Now, we saw, of course, Fermin Lopez occupying that right-hand side. Now, keep in mind, of course, Raphinha, fantastic player, brilliant this season, Ballon d'Or, Jogo Bonito-esque performances. But let's be very, very blunt here. He is not a natural wide threat. He's not hanging in these wider areas, attracting the fullback, maybe the center back that's, being dragged out here. What he does, he picks up the ball here, runs inside always, probably even roaming in these areas. If you look at all the previous match analysis video and look at the average positioning of players, Raphinha is always in this pocket here. He'll start here, sometimes just here to especially help with ball day and build-up play. 9% of the time, he's in these areas coming inside. I would say he probably comes up to here in that free-flowing area. Barcelona's main threat has always been the wide player out here, and who has that been? Of course, it has been Lamine Yamal. So when Lamine Yamal's on the side, I'm just gonna move from in here over for a second. When you have Lamine Yamal here, he hangs of course on the touchline, 1v1 dribbles, cuts inside, maybe runs inside here, creates some crossing areas for the players. Of course, a natural wide threat. Now, when you have Fermin Lopez in this game, who, keep in mind, is also right-footed with this right foot, it makes it so difficult. He is not a wide threat. He's basically another Raphinha that you have in here. We want to have that bounce, of course. One cut inside forward, kind of a left second striker, shadow striker. Another one holding the flank. When you have both like this, what happens, of course, you're so narrow. Players running into each other. No space to create chances. Lewandowski's dropping here in a mid block as well. It's just so narrow and congested. If we had Fermin Lopez on this left-hand side, Raphinha on this side, Raphinha could have been the touchline winger, who of course has the capabilities of doing that, and Fermin could have played the Raphinha role of coming inside, creating chances, again, as basically a second attacking midfielder. But Flick didn't do that, and again, there is more evidence of this on the average positioning of the players. On the left-hand side is the starting lineup. What am I seeing? What am I seeing? Lewandowski playing on the halfway line, Raphinha playing as a striker, Pedri in behind him, Fermin Lopez just in behind Raphinha. The positioning of the players in this game was beyond shocking. This, for me, was the main point of why Barcelona did not look threatening, did not create, and had no fluidity in the final third. So narrow. Sociedad overloaded that midfield. They knew that. They, of course, played in a 4-1-4-1, I believe it was, and that's why Emmanuel Alguacil made a great decision by not playing Mikel Oyarzabal, their natural left winger, out wide. He put him at striker to put another midfielder in that area to overbook it. That's why Barcelona struggled so much in fluidity and build-up play, like I mentioned in the match review yesterday. You can see the graphic on the right-hand side when the substitutions came in. Again, a bit more open. Ansu Fati holding that left-hand side a little bit more, almost more advanced as the 10. Pau Victor and Gavi came in for a couple minutes just to run the channels. But Lewandowski's average positioning being on the halfway line is scary. If he's in that kind of, Pedri position, I can let it slide. But him being, look at it, he's fucking deeper than Casado. That just says a level. For me, this was the main issue in this game. Not having any wide threat whatsoever. Whether it be, of course, on the bench, you could say Ferran Torres is injured. He could play there, but he has not been great whatsoever. But Barcelona do lack some winger depth because Raphinha is not playing that winger role. And Ansu Fati is kind of the same profile, I would say, as Raphinha, kind of that inside striker. That's why he's played striker a lot in the under Xavi in that double season as well. That's what Barcelona had the main issue. Not that there's no talent, but there is a lack of options for wide, natural, touchline winger threats. Now, the third thing that we learned from this game is not more so something we learned, but a question that needs to be brought up. Is Barcelona becoming Lamine Yamal dependencia? Of course, there's been that Messi independencia, which means, of course, the translation in Spanish is Messi independent, Messi reliant. Over the past, I would say, from probably 2017 until Messi left in 2021, we were more reliant than we ever were on him, passing him the ball, praying that he did something, and we can see that all the time. Is Barcelona coming up to that kind of level with Lamine Yamal? For me, as of right now, the answer is no. I think, again, like I mentioned in the previous section in point 2, The reason why is that we had no option on the bench. And I still do believe that if Lamine Yamal started this game, I don't think Barcelona would have easily have won this game. I still think it would have been difficult. I still think it wouldn't have been as clear-cut as it was. Because keep in mind the performance of the players. They had a real off day. Maybe Lamine Yamal would have had an off day as well. But he does, of course, make the build-up play, fluidity, creativity much easier and would have had an impact. Now, Flick spoke about this after the game, said that we missed Lamine Yamal. It's normal. I believe that we will request Lamine Yamal not to go for the national team, blah, blah, blah. If he could have played, he would have, but there was no way to do it, and I hope that was the right thing to do with him. So he was saying that if he was remotely fit, he would have played, which shows again how important he is to Barcelona. Again, was called out for the game, traveled to the Anoeta, and was dropped right when the starting lineup came out due to not being fit for this game. I'm not worried, but eyebrows being raised on how reliant Barcelona are on Lamine Yamal. People were talking about, of course, that front three, Lewandowski, Raphinha, Lamine Yamal. If Barcelona succeed, who will win the Ballon d'Or? Everyone says Lewandowski, Raphinha. No one mentions Lamine Yamal because the system benefits Lamine Yamal more than those two. Those two are more of the stars, the showboating. They get the glamours of Lamine Yamal being in the system. I'm not saying that everything revolves around Lamine Yamal, but he's so integral to Barcelona, again, mainly in the final third. You look at the goal we conceded, it was a slip up. Apart from that, Sociedad had maybe one chance that of course they missed. We had nothing because we lacked that in the final third, but our defense, pivot structure, and defensive transition was still very strong. Hopefully, we don't come to this point, but if we do, buckle your seatbelts, I guess. But now the question is being raised if we come back from the international break, Celta Vigo away, Lamine Yamal starts, and we look great, this question will come about. But I think the issue is lack of options to replace Lamine Yamal. I'm not saying we have to go get, the next best right where we get sign Mo Salah be an option. That's not what I'm saying, but just having an option to rely upon. Because Ansu Fati is not that, Pau Torre is not that. I would even say Ferran Torres isn't that, although he can probably play. He's probably the best touchline winger we do have, apart from, of course, Lamine Yamal. Ansu Fati can do that as well, but that's not his style. We always know that he's more of a 1v1 winger. We of course saw that in his peak days in the 2019-2020 season, but this will be the issue and something that needs to be addressed in the summer as well, or in the future with the Barca B as well. Maybe look at Unai Hernandez being an option. I don't think there's that many wingers in the B team that's prominent, if I'm not mistaken. Tony Hernandez, Gili Fernandez, maybe try them out there. I don't know if they are that kind of option. They kind of scream more from Min Lopez to me, which of course I talked about in the previous section. But this is going to be a topic of discussion a lot in the future, especially when Lamine Yamal comes back from injury and you see the team greatly improve. Now, the fourth thing that we've learned from this game is that this is still Papa Perez's league, and no matter how well Barcelona do, they will always try their best to absolutely scam us, and we saw it in this game. Of course, we're going to discuss the crazy decision of VAR misplacing and misdeciding the offside of Robert Lewandowski, which would have been a clear legal goal for Barcelona, put us 1-0 up. It would have been a totally different ball game. Would we have 100% won? No. 100% draw? No. 100% loss? No. That is a big question. So as you can see on the screen, this is the decision. Now, from the replays, from the regular cameras, you can see on the bottom screen there, the defender quite clearly keeping Lewandowski offside with his foot stepping in front. VAR decision, you can see there on the top, they actually used the defender's foot instead of Lewandowski's foot to conduct the offside. They apparently mixed it around, and you can see here on the images again, they used the standing foot as the line to decide. This is the question: which, if the foot of Lewandowski was offside, again, if it's half a toe offside, half a fraction of a fingernail offside, it's offside. You take it, you move. Of course, that's the rules. We've been using it ourselves last season, so if we benefit from it, we have to take the stuff that happens forward. But the line being misdrawn is where the key issue is. Hansi Flick, Casado all came out of the game saying that we saw the replay, it was wrong, they did not conduct the offside decision correctly, and we see it countless times again. And I can actually see here someone actually used, I think it was BN Sports, used the regular lines that you would see, how we've seen now over the past 20-50 years of football. Again, Lewandowski, his foot is the red line and the defenders is the blue line. Lewandowski onside yet again. And you can see here when the pass is being played, you can see on the image of the defender's right foot that it is in fact on top of Lewandowski's foot, signaling that Lewandowski is onside. Again here, this is the natural raw image of VAR without the lines and the effects to maybe overshadow things. And again, you can see the top of the foot is in front of Lewandowski, and you can even see it as well in this video here as well. It's just so weird that they misplaced this. It is a scandalous error, because when I was watching the game, rewind the live stream, I saw the replay, I said, I think he's onside by a fraction. They left it, they replayed it, I'm like, oh, with this waiting, it's probably offside by a fraction. But from the naked eye, you can see it is onside. So how this decision gets, made like this is beyond shocking. And again, you can see here without the graphic being shown, you can see on the foot, they use the defender's foot to kind of signalize it. And it also, by the way, let me go back to this other picture as well. You can see that Lewandowski's foot, the right foot that's planted, that's used as the final, for this point for being onside outside, is pointed in this direction towards Frankie de Jong, which shows again that the foot of the defender is the one being used by VAR. It is what it is. We'll see what the Federation do. I guarantee you we'll get a statement tomorrow. Oh, we got it wrong. We're sorry. We're sorry. That's it. Should this game be replayed? I mean, I think it should be, because Barcelona taking the lead, Barcelona playing from a leading position, is a totally different ball game. Confidence, momentum on your side. The players on the opposition team a bit downwards. Decisions from both managers during the game would be affected by that as well. It's a totally different ball game. If the goal is 100% legal, I don't want to replay the game, but that would be the most fairest call in my opinion. They can't just give the game a draw. That's unfair for Real Sociedad, who probably deserved, and I would not probably deserve, I think they definitely deserve the win, because Barcelona were absolutely shambolic. Again, we played this game 10 times. Barcelona probably win it 8 times, and the 2 times, happened to be Sociedad last night. But I think replaying the game would be fair, but we don't have no time for it in the calendar. They're not going to do that. They're going to say sorry, or they put some evidence in that, oh, Lewandowski's foot, if you really zoom in, is just in front of the top of the foot. Kind of BS, stupid excuses. At this point, we're used to it as a Barcelona fan. Every time we're on top, look at all the league titles that we've won and we've lost. That were, of course, the one that we lost that were narrow. There's always been stuff that go our way in key big moments, because Florentino Perez runs the league. The league is run by Real Madrid fans. So to be honest, I'm not surprised, but very interested to see how the Federation do respond to this massive criticism, not only from Barcelona fans, but La Liga fans and fans around the world watching this massive slip up. By the way, Carlo de Cerro Grande on the VAR, shambolic from him. And the fifth and final thing that we learned from this game to end off on a bit of a positive side is, of course, the performance of Pau Cubarsi and how integral he was in this performance to keep Barcelona not losing by more goals and kept Barcelona in this game for the entire 90 minutes. Got 7.6 SofaScore rating. You can see from his team, of course, playing as a right side center back, is spending a lot of time, of course, in the defensive final third and the attacking final third. You can see in his previous heat maps. In the match, he played 90 minutes, had 1 clearance, 1 block shot, 2 interceptions, 2 total tackles, had 1 last man tackle as well. He attempted 4 ground duels and won 2 of them. Attempted 7 aerial duels and won 6. Lost possession 7 times, committed 2 fouls, 94 touches, 92% pass accuracy, 1 key pass. He also attempted 7 long balls and completed 4. This was by far one of the best performances of Cubarsi this season. It kind of sucks that it was in defeat. And we talk about the warrior and the strong mentality that this team has, and we saw it again with Cubarsi wearing the mask in this game. The massive wound from the Belgrade game midweek, 10 stitches. Him playing this game was, of course, in question. He's not even called to Spain due to this injury. If he did not play this game, scoreline would have been much worse. Imagine Sergi Dominguez in that position. I still rate Sergi Dominguez. I think he's a good player coming up, just need to be nurtured a bit more. I think he does have definitely the talent, but throwing him into this game after his stinker against Osasuna, the pressure would have been massive. Absolutely massive. You could, of course, put in Kounde inside, Fort at right back, but Fort was injured. Would he have put Balde at right back? Maybe sort of Casado at right back, stuff like that. Again, be in question, but thank God Cubarsi was fit. Sensational defender. His ability to read the game in the air. I think his improvement in the air is fantastic. On the ground, brilliant. Had, of course, some good chances from the headers as well. One in the first half and the big one in the second half. Early on in the second half could have been, of course, a different story. But him being this game, he kept Barcelona in it. Those last man tackles, the great clearances, the aerial wins in the box. Would, of course, Sociedad were hitting us on the break constantly, of course, with the high line as well. So he's running back about 5,000 feet if they beat the offside trap as well. It was an unreal performance from the Spanish center back. So that's a match analysis from the match yesterday between Real Sociedad and Barcelona. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, of course, make sure you drop a like down below, and of course in the comments down below as well, let me know your thoughts on everything we did discuss around the 5 key things that I mentioned, of course on the performances, some of the aftermath, and that VAR controversy word use side on that. And of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time on the channel. Take care, and Forza Barca.